Enrique Alvarez clearing.
We are back for another week here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. Glad to be with you. Hopefully we can entertain you through your lunch hour. I'm Jake Buckman. He is Enrique Alvarez-Clary, and we've got an interesting week this week here on the Ticket. We have women's or girls. Can't say women's until they get to college. Girls.
I mean, you could say women's.
You could say that.
But they say girls.
Yeah, girls state basketball tournament this weekend, or this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But the Ticket Water Cooler, we might just kind of slither through. We might just kind of stick around during a break and see if we can get a show off. So it's kind of yet to be determined. We'll kind of see if we can get it done, but we'll get some airtime throughout the week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll be here.
Yeah,
me and you will be here. Nick will be at PBA. We'll hear his voice a lot over the next couple of days. But, yeah, we'll be carrying every game that happens at PBA. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Tournament time is right around the corner. In these last couple of days, my goodness, has it felt like March? I mean, it's February. It's late February, but there's buzzer beaters left and right.
This weekend for basketball, professional and college, fantastic.
Yes.
So like you said, so many buzzer beaters, so many just ridiculous moments. Damian Lillard goes for 71. Joel Embiid hits a buzzer beater that he knows doesn't count, so he's not even excited.
But it's a 3/4 court,
There's some high school buzzer beaters. Iowa, was down by 10 with a minute left, came back and ended up winning the game and forcing overtime, and then winning the game in overtime against Michigan State. Caitlin Clark hits a buzzer beater from pretty much the same spot that the Iowa guy hit the buzzer beater to send it to overtime. Like, it's just a great weekend of basketball.
Paul George hit one that was a minute too late, or a second too late. So the game went into overtime. I mean, besides that, you had the Kings Clippers go into a double overtime. It's the second highest scoring game ever.
Yeah,
176 to 175. And along with Dame's 71 points, it's interesting. I think this year they've already surpassed the total amount of players that have ever scored 40 or more points in a game. Obviously,
the Rockets have had 40 plus or 50 points scored on them 7 times this season.
Well, they're trying to lose, so that's not fair. But it is what it is. I saw a game with the Rockets earlier where, like, there was no other explanation this year. I forgot to bring it up, but they had, like, with 10 seconds left, they just had the win. And they just did everything that they needed to do to lose that game. Just like
they're like, no, take it. I don't want to win.
Fouls,
you take it.
Whatever it kind of takes to get to that lottery pick and the lottery chances up. But yeah, it was a wild weekend. Do you think that 71 points from Dame, 70 points from Donovan Mitchell earlier in the season? We all talk about the Wilt Chamberlain record, if that's untouchable.
Is anybody get to Kobe's 81?
But yeah, Kobe's 81's pretty. I mean, you're right there.
That's number 2, and it seems like nobody's really going to get there. Dame's 71 is that the highest that we've seen since then?
I think it's right up there. I have to look at, because his was
it's top. So he's top 6 all time in single game scoring. But I think in terms of most recent, I think that's the closest to Kobe's that we've seen.
Because Clay had 70, didn't he?
Yeah, Clay had 70.
A few guys getting 70.
Yeah.
There was a few interesting notes about it. First of all, he had 13 three-pointers, which is a lot of three-pointers.
I saw one where they set the screen about 2 steps from half court. He goes to the right towards the sideline. The big doesn't step up. He's still a decent ways back from the 3-point line. Takes it, makes it.
Yeah.
Like just the dude has unlimited range.
When again, it goes to my point. I still think if you're going to add a 4-point line, just do it at half court. You don't have to change any lines. You don't have to go make any circles out there. These guys can shoot it pretty well from half court. Despite Eric Strickland needs to warm up a little bit, but a lot of these guys
look if it like if you're on the logo. I guess if your logo is big, but if your foot is on a piece of the logo, that's 4 points.
Maybe that's 4 points.
That's 4 points.
They're gonna have to
shrink the logos.
Standardize those logos a little bit.
Nope.
Make sure.
Some course just have easier 4-point lines.
You just like the green monster in baseball.
Exactly.
Or the different fields.
It's just like that sometimes. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry about it.
Somebody's stretching their logo out.
Yeah, you're just like
somebody's spot. Yeah.
You're like, this guy really likes to shoot from this spot. Sorry, we just have a really twirly logo.
Yeah. So at age 32, Lillard is the oldest player in NBA history with the 70-point game, which is kind of surprising, I guess, to kind of look at it. But either way, I mean, it's tough to get to 70 points.
Yeah.
The 8th different player to score 70 points. Again, it just seems, with Booker and Thompson, it seems like there's going to be a possibility that Kobe's 81 is going to get caught up with now 100 points. I don't know. These games that go to double overtime and get 176, 175, maybe. So, I mean, the game's changed, obviously, because of the three-pointer. And it still amazes me every time I look at it. So Wilt Chamberlain owns the record, obviously, with 100 points. Not only that, though, he dominates the record for 50 points, 50-point games, because he averaged 50 points a game in a season at one time.
There's a stat that says most 60-point games in a career, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was Kobe Bryant had 8. James Harden has 5. Dame has 6. There's somebody else on there with 6. And then Wilt Chamberlain has 61.
Yeah, here it is. So Lillard's 5th career 60-point game, breaking a tie for 3rd most in NBA history. So he now has 5. Kobe has 6. Wilt Chamberlain has 32.
It's another way. I saw somebody else posted on Twitter. It said it's another one of those crazy NBA stats. And then what the heck was Wilt doing?
Yeah. It is, and it's hard to even to place it in history, because I don't think Wilt gets enough credit or enough GOAT discussion, because he's got video game numbers. Yeah,
everybody just says, oh, he was playing against guys who this was just a hobby for them, or this was a second job. They weren't doing this. Well, you still have to score.
Well, and
I understand that
Bill
he's,
Russell.
I understand that he's, a 7-footer, and there weren't very many 7-footers around. But yeah, he had Bill Russell, and he was still doing this, even against Bill Russell. And they were both putting up disgusting numbers. But the fact that Wilt has 100, if it was so easy to score 100 points, why didn't Bill do it? That's my only argument there.
Well,
he was playing against all these plumbers and firefighters. I was like, well, Bill didn't score 100.
Well, the opposite of that argument, though, is that
Bill won titles.
Exactly. And maybe why he didn't put up so many points is because he had 8 Hall of Famers on his team.
Yeah.
So maybe why he didn't score as much is because he didn't need to. He had a bunch of teams.
Wilt was the team, and he still went off for 50 and 20 every game.
Yeah. Just statistically, I mean, even if you do your maybe not take GOAT out of it, I suppose, but I think he deserves more argument there. But just your all NBA team, and people say Shaq or Hakeem or somebody at center. Statistically, I just think Wilt has to be the guy.
Most dominant.
Yeah, just crazy. But that was just one part of basketball, and I'm loving it. Basketball is warming up. Of course, Nebraska basketball, men's basketball, a whole story of its own that we can get into. But unfortunately, we are up against break. We will get into it. Keisei Tamanaga, Dylan Raiola, a black shirt for Sam Hoiberg maybe coming.
Don't do it.
Maybe don't do that. But there's just a lot to break down from that basketball game. Women's on the other side, they know their next opponent. They finish out a strong senior night, so we can get in on that. Bryce McGowan's is now officially an NBA player with a lot of money to back that up. So lots to break down here on the Ticket Water Cooler. We'll do more of that next year, coming up on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the relief, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs, because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres Ag professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tillage and planting to application and harvest. Also, don't miss the full lineup of John Deere mowers and compact tractors. Join us at the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center March 8th and 9th. Go to acres.com to request your free tickets today.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A few showers possible early this morning, then clearing with a high of around 56. It will be windy, northwest winds gusting over 35 to 40. Tonight mainly clear, a low down to around 28. We'll see increasing cloud cover tomorrow and cooler with a high near 50. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That is Rico on the drums, and I am on the other instrument that is playing there.
The bass?
Bass. Slap on the bass, man.
Look at you.
Bass seems, is it, I'm not very musically sound. Is that less impressive than the kind of the electric guitar, the main guitar guy?
I think they're both impressive.
You think they're
I think a
both
bass
impressive?
sounds cooler.
I think a bass
I think
sounds
if you
cooler.
can play a bass good, that's pretty nice.
You just get less chance to go on like your own little guitar riff.
I feel like there's
with the
bass solos.
There's bass solos.
Yeah. Certain songs require
In
a
there.
nice bass solo.
Yeah.
Send us your favorite bass solos. 402-464-5685.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some bands really get into the bass, and I enjoy it. Let's talk some Husker basketball. Of course, Huskers get the win over Minnesota this weekend, 78-67. Sam Griesel, the primary factor for that. 19 points was when Nebraska needed a bucket. It seemed like Sam Griesel was getting to the paint and getting it done. Looked especially dominant from there in that game. All five Huskers that started scoring in double figures, as well as Sam Hoiberg off the bench, who I think unanimously Husker fans don't want to get a black shirt because of just because of what happened to Vanderbilt and Gary. I'm assuming.
Yeah, like it's a nice gesture from Trev.
Yeah.
But based on what has happened to the previous 2 basketball players who have received black shirts, I would rather Sam Hoiberg stay far away from a black shirt. Not saying that is what caused it, but that is what caused it.
And I don't know. It's kind of strange because Trev is a former black shirt himself. He's an athletic, he's the athletic director. He can do what he wants. So I know some people are just kind of don't feel, that's not football one way or the other. But, as a former black shirt, one of the best to ever do it, a Butkus Award winner, I think maybe it's okay for him to hand out black shirts. But
I mean, yeah, but.
And by the way, he tweeted this out. That's why it's a discussion. We're not just making it up.
Yeah, like it makes sense for him to do it because, as you said, he's a Butkus Award winner, a great defensive player, played in the NFL. He's the athletic director, so he can kind of make these decisions if he wants. But just don't. I guess that's from me and all of Husker Nation. Don't
do that. Well, and then the other part of it was kind of interesting because Terrell, of course, is the black shirt, and he defends the right that should only be on the football field. He was also intrigued that Dylan Raiola threw the bones, which is maybe it's just a way to endear yourself to the crowd one way or the other. We know that's connected to Husker football, but Dylan's not on that side of the ball. Neither was his dad.
Does that mean that Dylan Raiola is going to play linebacker?
Dylan might want to switch positions.
There we go.
Maybe that's
from the number one player as a quarterback to the number one player as a linebacker. That's obviously what him throwing the bones means. Obviously.
Yeah. Interesting weekend. Of course, Keisei Tamanaga's parents were there and are going to remain in town for senior night. And it's made some news across Twitter and maybe Husker boards this morning is that Keisei is going to walk on senior night. What does it mean?
Oh, no.
It means he's academically a senior and his parents are down.
Oh, okay.
So, Derek Walker has walked like this will be his third time walking.
Yeah, no decision has been made on Keisei Tominaga leaving or remaining. That is what we were told. That is what we will go with.
Yeah.
Just because he is walking does not mean it's kind of like the women's basketball team. Jazz Shelley and Izzy Bourne both walked. Doesn't mean they're leaving, but they are technically seniors.
I thought it was interesting too, because Tominaga wasn't, you would think with his parents in town, maybe he'd be especially on the attack. But it just seems like during his run, obviously he's a kind of a streaky player. He'll go from 6 points to 18 points in a few minutes because he'll just get going. I don't know if it was just that Nebraska always kind of had a 10-point lead in this game for the most part, fluctuated a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know if there was, they had some dry runs, but he just never really got into the attack mode. Maybe if he would have hit a few of them, maybe.
I think it was just the way that Minnesota was guarding him. They had, everybody's pretty much bigger than him, but they had a bigger guy on him, face guarding him, just making that guy was paying attention to nobody else. He wasn't leaving Keisei for anybody driving into the lane. He was sticking with Keisei, hip pocket. So I just think with his recent, explosion onto the scene in Big Ten play, teams are going to be guarding him a little bit differently, and you're going to see a lot less defenders sag off of him at really any point, even if somebody is driving to the rim trying to draw the defender off of Keisei. I think with how lights out he's been from three and how prolific he's been in scoring, that these Big Ten teams are taking more interest in stopping him and believing if we can stop him, that'll stop Nebraska's offense. And during the run, it would have seemed like that, but with the not emergence, but with the game that Sam Griesel had, it looks as if Nebraska still has more options to score. We already know Derek Walker can do that, but with how Keisei was scoring the ball and how many points he was scoring, it seemed as if he was the main source of offense. You take him away, maybe Nebraska will crumble, and you saw that that's not the case.
Yeah, Matt says off the text line he was face guarded at all times. Still a huge reason why we won. Nebraska basketball fan also says Keisei was cramping really bad against Minnesota, which has been happening the last couple of games. So maybe those are some of the reasons you kind of look at it.
It took a defender out of the paint for when Sam Griesel was driving or when Derek Walker wanted to get to his shot. You go to the side that Keisei's on. The defender's not going to come and double team you or come in and try to stop you from getting to the paint, because if they leave Keisei, you hit him, he's more than likely going to hit that shot.
Yeah.
Or at least, with the run he's been on, he's going to hit that shot.
Yeah. Chase B also says just wait to give him the black shirt till after the season. So maybe maybe that would work a little bit
Yeah.
better. Doug and
After they
Lincoln,
make the Sweet 16. Perfect.
well, yeah, it's going quite a run for that. I think I've seen some predictions now that Nebraska is in the NIT as long as they kind of can continue this run, win 1 out of 2 down the stretch, and probably win a few in the Big Ten tournament. Which, by the way, they're tied now with Wisconsin and Penn State at 8 and 10. So still a chance they can kind of fight their way out. They have the tiebreaker against Wisconsin, split against Penn State. So I don't know how that would work out, but there are other teams in there that basically, until Nebraska doesn't, until we know the results of the final 2 games, they could move all the way up to like 5th, I believe, because there's 5 teams with 11 wins now. But the middle of the Big Ten is just fascinating, which is going to make for a crazy interesting tournament.
So fun
when we get there. Doug and Lincoln says it would seem to be overlooked that Nebraska also hosted 7'2" John Bull. Which there was another 7-footer in the building that people were giving maybe more of a look to, and Keisei Tamanaga's dad. But I'm interested in that. I think, and he's highly thought of. I mean, he's
top 100.
He's a top 100 type of guy. So I was gonna say it just seems like Nebraska from time to time gets 7-footers that don't play. So maybe that's why you don't immediately get excited about it. But
he's got some skill. If you look at it, you watch the
does.
tape, he's top 100. He's got some skill in the paint and all that. So it was kind of funny that you have a top 100 recruit in the building for the sport, and you're chanting the name of a guy that plays football.
That's right. Well, we know what it is here. Football first, and we'll support everything else.
But it was an electric environment, and I'm sure that John Bull took that in and he was like, look, the football players getting chance at a basketball game. Like, this place is crazy.
Yeah. Well, and again, this is another example of why Nebraska, everybody can say, we have the greatest fans, but Nebraska has a very good, strong argument for it because this was, a packed house, sold out again, of course.
For a team 1 game over 500.
Yeah, facing a team that had absolutely no draw to it.
Exactly.
Just the bottom barrel of the Big Ten. So, that's very intriguing. And then all the kind of, the Tamanagas that were in town, Dylan Raiola factor. I don't know if Cam Jurgens went to the game. My buddy got a picture with him in the bars.
Was he there?
Yeah, I don't know if he's at the game, but he's in Lincoln this weekend.
Interesting.
My buddy got a picture with him at the bars. So just a lot of different people in town and a lot of fanfare for that. And then, of course,
I know Alex Smith was in town. It was for a totally different thing. It was for Team Jack, but he was in town.
That's right. Yeah, Alex Smith was in town. But again, this best fan type of thing, that's the reason why this volleyball thing is happening at Memorial Stadium. Nebraska's out to prove it. And again, hats off to Nebraska, the university, for realizing that they can, put this on and highlight their fans. And then, of course, hats off to the fans for being so loyal and committed to any program here in Nebraska. And I'll always say this a little bit, as long as you win enough, you gotta be at least enough on winning.
Look, the fans showed out PBA for the men. They showed out in PBA for the women as well, who are taking on Northwestern for their senior night.
Yeah.
Had 3 seniors walking in Sam Hybe, who's a 5th-year senior, Jazz Shelley and Isabel Bourne, who are both have decisions to make if they're going to come back, but they're going to wait till the end of the season to kind of finalize that. I believe Izzy Bourne's parents were in town. Jazz Shelley's couldn't make it, but her grandparents were in town. So that was an interesting. They blew out Northwestern. It wasn't really. Jazz Shelley was on triple-double watch by halftime. Finished 5 assists shy. No, 4. She finished with 6 assists. Finished 4 assists shy of the triple-double, but she let me find it exactly. She finished with 19 points, 13 rebounds, which is a career high, and 6 assists in 38 minutes. Look, Northwestern, they blew them out earlier this year. They blew them out again on senior night. It was just another game for Nebraska, but now they'll be going into the Big Ten tournament that starts this week, I believe Wednesday, but they won't play till Thursday. They'll play Michigan State. It's the 8-9 matchup. Then the winner of that goes on to play 1 seed Indiana. So to get into the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to beat Michigan State and then probably beat Indiana. They might be in after they beat Michigan State, but to kind of solidify their way into the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to beat Indiana. They'll be on the bubble, but if you don't want to sweat it out, just win the game.
Yeah,
which they were. I believe they were close with them earlier this season. but just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, which they were with a lot of top opponents. So,
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating to see that play out. You love kind of those scenarios. Now, of course, you would wish that Nebraska had a little bit more leeway, and they were just in the tournament, and you felt pretty good about it. But to have the opportunity to
darn loss to Minnesota earlier.
Yeah,
that just hurt so bad. You got the win against Illinois after that, top 25 Illinois, but that loss to a Minnesota team that only has 2 wins in conference, that one stings. That one stings a lot.
Yeah. So hopefully they can get that done. Also, Nebraska baseball rebounding this weekend from the San Diego series. They swept South Alabama, so now they're 3-3-1. All the doomsday preppers and preparation after week. The first series of the year is okay now because they're back to 500 with the tie in there. Vanderbilt
is that 500?
Well, 3-3-1. Is that 500?
I don't think so. Would that be like
a tie is
499? Well, let me check. Let me check what it says they're at. I don't think that's 500.
You don't think that's 500?
I don't think so. Nope, it hasn't been 500. I'd put him at 499.
A tie doesn't. Then it wouldn't be a tie though. Then that would be
a tie is like kissing your sister.
A tie is 500.
It's not 500. You didn't win, but you didn't lose.
Then what happens there? You can't give
you drop by 0.001.
Well, then that's a loss. That's a loss.
It's not a loss. It's not a win, but it's not a loss.
Nebraska does have a chance, by the way, this weekend when they go to Minneapolis. They've got several games out there, including against Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, are both top 10 teams. So if they can get a win there, that'll certainly help the resume for them as they prepare early in the season.
Number 7 Vanderbilt on Friday, Hawaii on Saturday, and number 4 Ole Miss on Sunday.
Defending champs.
Yep.
For Ole Miss,
Yeah, no big deal. You can watch that one on Big Ten Plus or listen on the Huskers Radio Network. Softball is also going to be playing this weekend. Let me find out where they're at because they're all over the place. They're still not home because why would they be? Again, they don't play at home. Softball doesn't until March 22nd. They are at the Hillenbrand Invitational in Tucson, Arizona. So they'll play Weber State on Friday and Texas A&M Commerce on Friday as well, doubleheader. Weber State Saturday, doubleheader with Arizona that Saturday as well, and then end it with CSUN.
Oh, of course, the Fighting
CSUN. I got to make sure I get this right. I just keep saying CSUN. Who are you, CSUN?
Well, after you said Texas A&M Commerce, I thought there was nobody below them
nobody below them. Nope. CSUN.
CSUN.
Let's find out who CSUN. Oh, the Matadors.
The Matadors. Well, that sounds at least formidable. The Matadors.
They are the Cal State Northridge.
Okay.
There you go. The Matadors.
Yeah.
Cal State Northridge.
I've heard
Matadors.
Cal State Northridge. You just
Have
CSUN, I don't know.
It's in Northridge, Los Angeles. California. That's what it says. In Northridge, Los Angeles,
so
California.
Basically Big Ten country, so we should know about them.
Yeah, they're in the Big West Conference.
Big Ten West?
Just Big West.
Oh, just the Big West.
Just Big West.
Oh, okay.
There's no one in there.
All right. Off the text line, 3994 says, is Blaze Cada injured? What's the deal with him? He's a big impact when he's in the game. He re-aggravated a ankle injury, so he was out that game. Maybe what you saw Rico's guy Oleg out there for a few minutes. So hopefully he gets better because he has been a big impact on the games that he's been able to play. Ellison, Illinois says, you guys might want to check on this, but I thought all 7-footers can only attend Purdue. Yeah, that's true. I think it's if you're over 7'2".
Yeah, if you're 7'1", then it's borderline because maybe if you stand up a little straighter, you'll be 7'2". But yeah, if you're 7'2" or taller, Purdue.
Yeah,
you can't go anywhere else. Them's the rules.
Maddie's dad says a tie's like what, Rico?
A tie is like kissing your sister.
And why do you know what kissing your sister is like?
I don't. I've never tied.
Okay. Well,
I only win.
That's
what the saying is.
I know. Some of those sayings are just like, why?
It's a George Brett quote. Says, if a tie is like kissing your sister, losing is like kissing your grandmother with her teeth out.
Oh, jeez. My goodness. I'd rather just tie, I think.
I just want to win.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's very strange.
Shout out to George Brett, I guess.
Here's something. Have you ever tried?
Not that.
No. Just not with your grandmother, but just in general, teeth kissing. Just clack your teeth with your significant other. That sounds terrible.
Why would you? Have you?
I've made somebody try that before. Yeah.
No.
Give it a shot.
No.
Why?
First off,
it's a term of endearment.
First off, that's weird. And secondly, I don't think my wife would go for that.
Just try it out. See if you like it.
So like, hey, babe, just smile. Why? Just smile with your teeth. And then I'm just going to clink.
At her, yeah. Like clinking
See?
teeth.
Love you.
Yeah.
No, that's not how this works.
I'd still rather do that and kiss my sister.
She
I
might
guess.
hit me.
Yeah. All right,
She's
let's
like, "What are you doing?"
let's take a quick break here on the Ticket Water Cooler. You guys can practice teeth kissing at home, and we'll be right back. Nick will come in studio for the crossover on 93.7 The Ticket.
The way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. And you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour. An opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A few showers possible early this morning, then clearing with a high of around 56. It will be windy. Northwest winds gusting over 35 to 40. Tonight mainly clear, a low down to around 28. We'll see increasing cloud cover tomorrow and cooler with a high near 50. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres Ag professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tillage and planting to application and harvest. Also, don't miss the full lineup of John Deere mowers and compact tractors. Join us at the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center March 8th and 9th. Go to acres.com to request your free tickets today.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet Chevrolet GMC in Louisville. As we roll into the year, we continue to get plenty of new 2023 inventory and have a great selection of used vehicles. And if we don't have what you want, we can put a new vehicle order in for you. We also have 9% financing right now on select Chevy and GMC new models. So stop on in and make that short drive to Louisville or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico on the flute this time, and
I'm very talented.
Yeah, he's got
What can I
one of
say?
the instruments over there.
I'm good at what I do.
You can put those instruments down once in a while.
Nah, man, I'm good at what I do, and I wanna continue to do it. And
The real question is he better at playing instruments or better at sports radio?
yes,
I
that's
would think
the
better
answer.
at instruments.
Well, he's done a pretty good
All right,
job.
well, I
with
guess
his-
you're gonna go
his band
solo
this
for the next
morning.
hour.
I won't go solo. We got Steve coming up at 1:30.
Ah, Steve, our guy.
Steve is back from being a dad. He's
Look at
done
him.
being a dad.
He's done. He's just done.
Yeah, that's
He's
how
like,
it works.
hey, I was a dad, and now I'm done.
That is Nick
You know,
Sainert
it's
of
just too bad
the
that
happy hour.
we
coming
can't
up
keep
next.
this microphone in one
Yeah, what
spot
is
because
happening?
It just keeps on moving
Oh.
because we got people in here that don't stop.
Stop it.
Would you like to name names?
Go ahead.
You guys know who sits here.
Interesting.
Terrell.
Terrell doesn't
Whatever.
even sit there, actually.
It depends on the day.
Yeah,
sometimes he does.
Yeah,
Sometimes he does not.
Yeah. But in any case, at least it looks like you got the mic going back again. I want to ask both of you guys this.
No.
Were you guys? No. Okay. Well, we'll just stop it there. Were you guys bothered by the Fran McCaffrey stare down? Some people were like highly offended by it.
I wanted more better commentary.
I just wanted to know what was going on.
I thought it was a good stare down. He gets criticized for yelling too much, and then so he decides to turn a new leaf.
He's like, I'm not gonna yell.
I'm not going to yell. I'm just going to stare down.
Shout out to the ref because the ref was like, I'm not backing to the ref stepped up too.
I loved how the ref stepped up. I was like, what's going to happen?
The ref was like, what's good? I love it. And I took that and I just said, because this was happening all week, and I said, quote tweeted that and put Ellie when she asked if she can paint my nails, and I keep saying later. Just all day. Later, baby. Later. Later. And she was just like,
just keeps on.
Can I paint your nails now, Dad?
Yeah.
We're seeing refs start to feel a little confident in their abilities because we had the guy that stepped up and sized up Greg McDermott the other day. Now we have this one who was in a staring contest and won.
He was holding his ground.
He won.
He did.
The staring contest with Fran McCaffrey.
Fran McCaffrey back down. That's 1-0 ref.
One thing, I think the refs should take pride in their jobs. You can't just yell at them and berate them, and then they kind of put their head down. The other thing, like the coach's job, part of coaching is to kind of like sway your way into getting calls. You know, like using home court advantage and all that stuff. So, like the refs, you got to stand up for yourself. You can't back down.
You would think that making a ref feel better more at home would get you more calls than just yelling at them.
Scaring them.
Scaring is
putting fear into
Do
them.
you think scaring a ref is going to get you more calls? Do you think they're gonna be scared? Like if you keep yelling at them? Because I feel like if I was nice to a ref and I was like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Like, how's the family and all that?"
Fake though.
Well, no, you can't be fake. Just be a real person
That
and
sounded
just
fake,
just
though,
care
Rico.
about people.
That sounded fake.
Well, maybe I'll be a little fake. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna yell. Well, I don't yell at people, so I guess that's more real than that.
I used to coach. What's the basketball organization here in Lincoln?
Small Fry?
No, it's for like. I don't remember. You play on Sundays. It's not micro. It's not YMCA. It's for like older guys. It's high schoolers. That's just like a rec league. Anyway, I coached my buddy's team. I was the coach. I wore a tie.
Were you in high school?
We were all in high school, and I got teed up one time. I've gotten teed up one time, and why? Because I brought brownies to the game.
Yeah.
And we were up by 15. I called a timeout for a brownie timeout. We all sit on the sideline, ate some brownies. The other team didn't like it. The ref teed us up.
You got a tech for that?
We got teed up for eating brownie, calling a brownie timeout. Stacy's. Thank you. Stacy's.
Did you call it a brownie timeout?
Yeah.
You said
timeout. We got brownie.
If you wouldn't have said
ref comes over, is like, what do you mean by you got brownies? I'm like, well, we brought brownies. We're up by 15. We're gonna eat them. And it's like, it'll take us 60 seconds. We'll do a full timeout. The other coach was actually taking it seriously, and because he was like a dad, he was an older guy, and he was like, "They can't do that. That's Bush League." because we were up 15. We were just kind of rubbing it in.
Yeah.
It was like late in the fourth quarter. It was nothing was in the brownies, Jim. Don't worry. But
why do you think they were playing so well?
no, not because of that.
Last couple minutes
we just
interesting.
we called a brownie timeout. So.
Yeah. Well,
but we were decked out. I was decked out in a suit and tie in every single game, and I was the coach.
Did you
play.
offer the ref brownies?
No, he didn't participate.
That would have not gotten you teed up.
He did not participate in the 15-point lead. So
are you sure?
I'm positive.
I don't know. Maybe he gave you some calls.
But then he teed us up, and I was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "Don't make me give you another one."
Shout out to those that ref in Lincoln as well, because obviously you don't get paid as well as at the next level, and you still get players complaining the whole time. It's just like, dude, I'm just doing this for you, so that you guys have somebody here to ref.
Exactly. I'm doing this so you can play the game.
It's not like I'm making a whole lot of money here. I'm just trying to, this is for you guys.
Shout out to referees.
Yeah, shout out to local refs.
What sport, if you could ref one sport at like a rec level, what sport would it be? Because I think it'd be basketball for me.
I feel like it's the only.
No, you can do football, like youth football, select baseball, softball.
My wife's in a volleyball league, and the guy that was doing it, he has like a soda in his hand. So when he makes the call, he just like points his soda one way. That looked pretty cushy.
I will say, there was one time
I think I'd want to be like the first base ump or the third base ump for baseball
no, you
or
do not.
softball.
You do not.
Why?
I have stories that I've never told publicly that I'm ashamed of.
Well, now it's time.
I'm ashamed.
Now it's time.
So I was 14 years old, umpiring select baseball. Shout out to Elite Umpires Association. They hired me.
That was their first mistake.
That was their first mistake. Hey, I passed all the tests and everything.
What they call it, elite officiating?
Elite Umpires Association. I don't even know if it's still.
Are you elite?
Well, the other umpires.
He was part of the Umpire Association, so I guess.
I was 14. I was reffing a Lincoln Dodgers and Lincoln Cyclones baseball game, 11 under. So there was a guy behind home plate. It was my first game out at Optimist Fields, if anybody knows where that's at.
The people playing were 3 years younger than you.
They were 3 years. They didn't know I was 3 years. I was 3 years older, and I don't think the coaches knew either.
Oh no,
guys! I still regret this call to this day. End of the game. And this is when I realized one of the cardinal mistakes of umpiring or officiating. You never end the game on a judgment call.
Oh, Nicholas.
But from second base, so they had runners on base, so I had to like stand behind the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was no side angle, nothing to it. No, don't forget it's 12 under baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The hitter check swings.
Mm-hmm.
It was a ball, and the catcher appealed to me, and I called him out, and that was the game. I struck the kid out
on the check swing.
It was a rush of emotions to where I was like,
when they point to you, you're like, oh, me?
I was like, I wasn't watching.
You're like,
I was just making sure the kid's foot was on the mound still.
You were like, I was not paying attention. I'm gonna be completely honest.
You get an earful?
Oh yeah. I got an earful. Well, and then it didn't help that a couple weeks later we had the same team. I had to kick the coach out because he argued with me.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember you made a crappy call a couple weeks ago about this.
He's already. You're 14 years old.
So
he didn't know he was 14.
He didn't know I was 14 because you think of an umpire and you're like, he's not 14. But so there was
especially elite umpires.
Yeah, he's at least 17.
We don't go around yelling about the name or whatever.
I am elite.
Matt Rule's all about elite. So that
was the most. I walked away from that, and now about 7 or 8 years removed of that call, I'm sitting here going, I really should never have ended the game on a check swing third call and an appeal.
You're just like, you know
from
what?
Behind the pitcher's mouth.
I don't think he swung.
I to this day I can't remember if he swung or not. I don't even know if I knew in that moment.
Did he actually check his swing?
I don't think he swung.
Did the bat come off his shoulder?
The guy appealed, so it must have. But
the catcher was just testing you.
That was bad. And then the other. Sorry, one more story. I was reffing. I was umping an 8U baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
When it's under 10U, you don't need 2 umpires. You just do 1.
Okay.
You get paid a little bit more. So I would do. They're a lot more painful to sit through or umpire because they're just younger. But it's fine. So I was doing an 8U baseball game out at Air Park. It's like third pitch of the game. I forgot protection down there, and I was behind the dish. And 8-year-olds can't block that well.
Oh
Hit
man.
me. and I was jumping around Densmore because I was like 15 at the time. I was jumping around because it was hurting. And all the fans were just, "Oh, Blue, you good? You good, Blue? You good?" I'm like, this is painful. And then I had to get through the rest of the 5 innings.
You're like, no, I'm not.
Clearly.
Anyway, all right, that was umpire
You've
corner.
seen what happened. Yeah, I think I could do it.
So it's a blast. It was fun. It was good money too.
If I had that umper or ref a rec league game or sport, it'd be baseball, softball.
You want to talk about
power.
You want to talk about a pressure packed situation is when you got an appeal coming your way on a 12U baseball game on a Tuesday night.
But
you have no idea. You're like, you know what? I didn't watch the swing.
Don't put me behind the plate. I'll take third or first.
Oh yeah,
that's real.
Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good there.
I think I would. You know what? I think football would be pretty fun. I'd like to do some football.
I'd end up watching the game. I wouldn't do much referee.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
I always wanted to see how far I could throw the flag.
You have to get in the right spot.
That's true. The little ball markers and everything.
You gotta
I just wouldn't be part of the chain gang.
Drop the bean bag when there's a fumble.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the Ticket Water Cooler. We'll be back here in a few minutes with Happy Hour coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM.